Hi there, my name is Ingrid Marsh and I'm the person behind the Reboot Box, which is really a bit more like a reboot button. It's where we press the reboot button on our lives and go back to our original, awesome, authentic self. So the question is, how did this come about? So when I was younger, my father didn't want to know me and never see me, didn't want to know me. And it would be true to say, behind my laughter and my smiles and a really wonderful upbringing, a great home and all the rest of it, deep down inside, that made me feel totally incomplete. In fact, I whacked a label on my forehead and said I was incomplete as a result. And what didn't help that was that the Facebook of the day is what they call the Peter and Jane books, and it depicted the oh so perfect lives. And inside, I just didn't feel perfect because my life didn't look like the imagery that was depicted in those books or the magazines of the day. Like I said, there was like the Facebook and Instagram of today showing these images. So I would say for the most of my life, I felt I was incomplete because I didn't have that perfect 2.2 children and the dog. So you can imagine how I then felt when I then became a single mother. I can't believe it. I'm even more incomplete than I was even before then. And the real scary thing about those periods were I still blamed my father. I was angry with my father for the bulk of my life. And so wanting to feel complete because of those situations, I then used to buy stuff to kind of fill that hole, the house, the shoes, the car, the clothes, all thinking that this will help fill that hole of not feeling complete. So it would just say that this completely burnt me out. I was striving for everything. I wanted to get into broadcasting. I wanted to regret not knowing me, and I wanted him to pay for these pains he was bringing to my life with what I blamed him for. And then one day I said, that's it. I stopped, I paused, and I said, that's it. Enough was enough. I'm actually perfect and complete just the way I jolly well am. And in fact, it was those very things that I was suppressing that made me angry and felt that I was not complete about, that I actually felt actually made me complete and made me a much more interesting character, because then I had all these different experiences and so forth that I could bring to the table. And it's those very things that I realised when I was speaking to people, they want to hang around with me a little bit more because I was always just myself and kept things real. And instead of trying to be perfect, I was actually just real. So after that, I became a real vigilante against stereotyping and these unconscious biases that we have, because I realised it's those stereotypes that are keeping us back from being our original authentic self. So then I realised in advertising technology now that these stereotypes are being perpetuated, and more they were strangulating our voices. So in doing this work, that's when I came up with this really, I believe it's a wonderful idea called the Reboot Box, with actually tangible tools and items to bring about a change. And I felt it had to be tangible, it had to be something we could touch, feel, and hear, because don't forget the auditory, we do online tutorials as well. It needed these things because the machine that we was fighting against was so huge and so massive. So I felt I had to come back and fight back with something which was tangible, as well as, like I said, these online tutorials. So the Reboot Box, which I say is really the reboot button, it comes in 3 stages, which is unplug, and that's when I stopped myself. I stopped, got off the treadmill, stopped listening to all that noise out there. It's where you stop to make the unconscious conscious. Not about yourself, not just about yourself, but also these messages, these things that we're saying about others, because sometimes it's through others that we can get these really great messages. So it's where we unplug, it's where we stop, and it's where we take a breath. And so in the unplug box, for example, you'd have things in there like these really luscious, wonderful organic teas. It helps us to calm down, get still. There are audio tutorials to help with this also. And then these wonderful smellies, which are fabulous. If you're a guy, you can put them on a hanky and smell them, or if you're a female, or both, either way. Men can do this too. And you kind of, it just calms you. It just takes you off that fast track of life and slows you down so you can just stop and think and start picking up the information that you may have missed by your life and the world travelling too quickly, and the quick judgments we're making about ourselves and others. That's the Unplug section. It's through the Unplug section of stage of the programme that we really work on finding our original voice, our uniqueness, who we are, away from all the stereotypes and the messages that we get from, say, siblings and parents and institutes dictating to us who we are. Is where we find who we are. The second month we have what we call the Discover Box, the Discover programme. And with those we're getting tools and tutorials and books and what have you to help us discover new skills. And in that, in there, for example, there might be a book. So in this one it's the book by Davina McCall. And I love Davina because she's so authentic. Once again, I remember watching her on an interview, and this is what gravitated me towards this book. She was talking about her and her husband going for marriage guidance counselling rather. So I love that, and I love it because she's a celebrity and who's up there, and we tend to in the media have celebrities up there like they're godlike creatures, forgetting that they're just normal human beings like me and you. So when celebrities do keep it real, I'm always really grateful for that because they make my job an awful lot easier. So there's always wonderful lessons to learn and share that we'll be sharing with each other in our online community as well. This is really great. You might find this in the Discover Box, and you never know what you're going to get each month. It's a surprise. But you might find something like this. This is like how to make better decisions in your life. And then inside it's something like this, and it just really helps us to streamline some of those thought processes, because once again the world is moving so quickly, it becomes harder and harder and harder to make independent decisions outside of what we're being told, and it becomes so much so we become so much more overwhelmed also. So you get really great guides to help you keep on track. In the boxes as well, you may also, or you will also get, definitely you'll get journals, which are fabulous for tracking. Journals are really fabulous for tracking and getting your true thoughts, where you can just kind of like dump information down and start detecting patterns and things like that. All great people out there all had journals, or many great people had journals, really fabulous. There's always a treat in a box. We do like treats, and they're always lovely organic treats. And you may have as well things like boost bars, because I want us to really realise that the whole thing is an organic approach, or a holistic approach rather. So we're dealing with every single aspect. You can't just deal with one area. People might say, oh, just look good on the outside, you'll feel good on the inside. But it doesn't work like that. Throughout, we are constantly working on our belief systems, getting rid of belief systems that just don't serve us and that really don't belong to us. And there's always as well challenges within the boxes as well. Between the Unplugged Discover box, there's always tons of challenges that would be in each box as well. And the third area of the programme is what we call Unleash. So we've got Unplug, where we're cutting off, stepping off the treadmill. We've got Discover, where we're discovering new skills. And then we have the final section, which is the Unleash section. And this is when you power yourself back up again to face the outside world. And this is where you might be learning things through the tutorials or through the products in your box. This is where you'd be learning things to unleash your voice, your original authentic voice, your original authentic you, and to do so compellingly. So there may be some skills in there on things like public speaking, on voice inclination, on really just expressing yourself more compellingly so you can make more of an impact wherever you are as your new original authentic self. Guys, what can I say? It is time to press the reboot button on our lives. And it's official. This is not just mumbo jumbo. There's some official research that's come out from Deloitte Bank, for example, that teams where people are bringing their individuality to the table are far more compelling, achieve an awful lot more. They become a lot more dynamic because there's different views and opinions being brought to the table. So if you're not bringing your authentic self to that table, they're missing the perspective that you bring. We want schools to be a place where children can bring their original authentic self to the table. Once again, it shows that children are far more successful if they can be themselves. It is a new day. It is time to press the reboot button on our lives. It is time, more so than ever, as the world gets faster and faster and faster, for us to go back to our original authentic self. Join us.